what would you say are some of the biggest, most common problems that you see that people are struggling with, and what's your way of overcoming that?
Two things that I see when I am invited in to do any work with clients. One, they don't know their brand. Their brand is their identity. I mean, you have to know your brand. Your brand is not just the name, but it's your target audience, it's your pricing, it's the services you offer. I know from experience that I didn't know my brand. Well, I knew I was in communication, but I didn't know what I really was. So I was trying for years to do everything under the sun in communication. And it's not that I wasn't good at these other things. Like I did photography for 25 years. I've won awards for my photography, but photography isn't what I really want to be doing for clients. I don't want to go take pictures of weddings. And every time I did one, I would cringe because I had to go do another wedding, and it wasn't what I wanted. Clients, with the exception of one client, every client I've ever had loved their wedding pictures. That's not the point. Sure. But I didn't know what my brand was. And when I figured out my brand, when I figured out who I was, ironically, that same friend / client that I helped take her business to flourish more than tenfold within a year, she was speaking in one of my classes, because I teach sociology at a local community college, and she was talking about service to the community and how it's important to give back in her project that she works with in feeding the homeless. And she makes this comment about how the people who are homeless have an identity too. And she said something else. I don't even remember what she said, but I said, in response, I just went, wait a minute, everything I do is about identity. And I, in that moment, realized that my first master's thesis was on identity. My second was on identity. All the work I do in my classes, all the work I do in my writing. And that's what was missing in my business, that it was missing the thread that tied me together. From that moment, I figured out that I'm the identity guru. And I played with other words after the identity, and I settled on guru. And one of my colleagues said to me, why are you using the word guru? That has such connotations. It means like you're an expert and you know everything about it. And I'm like, where do you get that means I know everything? Do you know what the word guru means? And she's like, it means expert and you know everything about it. And I go look it up in the dictionary. She opens up the dictionary and it says guru, teacher. All a guru is a teacher that has expertise in their field. It is somebody who has knowledge, but a good guru does not profess to know everything, and a good guru will admit when they have failed, or when they have failed to succeed, or when they've made mistakes. And if you look through history at who the most named or biggest gurus were, they never had an attitude of like, I know everything. So it fit perfect. I'm a teacher. I'm an educator. I help people know who they are. So that branding component, I was missing that branding component. And my own story is example of what I can do for someone else. So once I branded myself, then I needed to get the marketing down. And that's the second thing that people are often missing. They don't have the marketing in place. They don't have everything ducks in a row. Now, it did take me a while to get it there, because it's really hard to coach yourself.
Yeah. It's hard to see your own flaws.
I'm just going to admit it. Coaching myself is really tough. So it took a little bit of time, and I kept saying, I need to redo my website. I need to redo my website. I'm very happy to say my website has been relaunched. It is beautiful. My new graphic designer has really made it something just like it's what I've always wanted, and it really expresses who I am and what my company does. And she's created my author page and my publishing company page as well. She is phenomenal, and she listens and understands what I'm trying to get at. And it took a while to relaunch, but when I look at clients, I can say, do you have social media? Do you have this? Do you have that? Are you actually utilizing social media? Have you grown? What are you doing to grow your presence on Twitter? And they're like, well, I don't know. How do you do that? And I said, well, there are some methodologies you can use. And I walk them through depending on what industry you're in. And then, they're like, well, do these work? And I go, I don't know. Let me tell you what I did. I was told at a conference by an agent that my memoir, my life story, wouldn't go anywhere if I didn't have a presence. I didn't have a reach of 25,000 people. And they said, because you're pretty much a nobody. You're not famous. Nobody knows who you are. And I'm like, well, I don't agree with that, but okay. So in the year from them telling me that to when I met with them again at the next conference a year later, I took my Twitter followers from 50 to 1,500.